Welcome back to the all-new, rebranded, renamed In The Box podcast. We are the Four Turnstiles, and this week we're going to be going through the weekend's Premier League results. Then Quizmaster Hassan is going to host round 2 of the In The Box Mastermind. And then we're going to go open up the deep topic that I'm going to discuss whether racism is still an issue in the game, following teams like Paris Saint-Germain admitting they racially profile their players in recruitment. Then Glenn Roy is going to let some steam off his chest with a rant, and then close the show with this question of last week. How are we, boys? All right?
Yep. All good, Ellis?
Good.
Yeah, all good here, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. Glenn Roy, how are you?
Yeah, mate. All good, brother. Everyone all good?
Good. So, results for the weekend. Brighton 1, Leicester 1, Everton 1, Cardiff 0, Fulham 3, Southampton 2. Man United with another ball draw at home to Crystal Palace, drawing 0-0. Watford 0, Liverpool 3. West Ham 0, Man City 4. Spurs 3, Chelsea 1. Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 2. Wolves 0 and Huddersfield 2. So, before we start chatting about the results, Man City top the table with 35 points. Liverpool in second with 33 points. Spurs in third with 30.
Yee.
Chelsea in fourth on 28. The Arsenal in fifth on 27. Everton in sixth on 22. And Man United in seventh on 21. Holding up the table, we've got Southampton, Cardiff and Fulham all on 8 points. So, I guess the new boys want to talk about yesterday's game before we get on with the show. I watched it with you yesterday, Harry, and I'm not going to lie, I thought Tottenham completely controlled Chelsea for 70 minutes of the game. I was really impressed with you guys. I thought, you pretty much dominated them. It could have been 6 or 7 on another day.
Should have been 6 or 7.
Yeah, it really could have been. I mean, yes, I think it was the penalty on Hazard, and that maybe could have changed the course of the game, but that decision wasn't given. And, you guys tore them a new one, to be honest. I think it's a long time since I've seen a Chelsea defence be all at sea like that. They just had really nothing about them. And as much as I'm saying they had an off day, I'm not going to hide away from bigging you guys up either. I thought, to be honest, that's as best as I've seen you play in a long time. Spurs boys, I'll put it over to you.
Yeah, that's our best game we've played this season, to be totally honest. Even for 70 minutes of the game, the last 10 minutes, they started trying to pile the pressure on, and typical Giroud got a goal. Bit gutted we didn't keep a clean sheet. Really gutted. I mean, if you look at the possession, Chelsea had loads of possession, but we had so many clear-cut chances we should have scored. Harry Kane should have scored one, which got rolled right in front of him. Dele Alli was unlucky. Son should have scored a few more in the first half. And we dominated Chelsea. I was just really pleased with that we actually turned up. I mean, it's only 1 out of the 3 games in the week we've got, though. I mean, we've got Inter Milan midweek and Arsenal back in the next week, which are 2 more vital games. 1 down, 2 more to go. And we're looking to get 6 points off the next 2 games as well. Now, really happy with Spurs. Really dominated Chelsea at White Hart Lane. Good performances all around, really.
Good. The things that stood out to me and I know he gets a lot of stick from you guys sometimes. When I say you guys, Spurs fans, but Sissoko, the last few times I've watched Spurs, has actually been really good, really effective. I think, the way he just shut a lot of their players down at times and give them time to settle. And he is very direct, and he's almost comes across as one of them players where, if he knew what, he seems to know what his limitations are. That his end product is a bit wayward at times, but he brings so many strengths to you guys that
you got to give
maybe
you got to give Pochettino credit for that, because I mean, he can obviously tell that Sissoko. He goes to Sissoko. I want you to go and do this job and this job only. Don't do nothing more, nothing less. And he goes out and does that job. I mean, I don't know if you heard the Spurs podcast the other day. But I pretty much was bigging up Sissoko. This season he's been like a different player. Don't get me wrong, he don't look like he's still, you know what I mean, still got a long time to satisfy the £30 million price tag we paid for him. But he is, at least he's been a vital member to the squad this year, and he was quality again against Chelsea. He was our best player against Man City. I think it was against Fulham. We won 1-0. He got the assist. He's been doing really well. Happy with Sissoko with this.
Hassan, what's your view on the game? I knew you were waiting to get in.
I was waiting for you to ask me. I think it's the best we've played all season. To be honest with you, it was a bit of a surprise to me because I didn't expect us to come out the way we did. I thought we bossed them, mate. I thought we bossed them. Like I said, we're, in every game of football, you get your little wee sit on the back foot a bit. But deep down, I was a bit gutted that we conceded a goal. Bit excited we conceded a goal. Nice to keep the clean sheet. But, Sissoko was decent. Arua, question marks over him for me, but I thought he had a very good game yesterday. Harry Kane turns up once again. What a goal by Son. Ali scores once again against Chelsea. And
What's a goal by Son as well?
Yeah, and whether we like it or not, you know what I mean? The facts are facts. And currently, we are the kings of London at the moment. Do you know what I mean? In the fact of, we are highest placed. We are the best team in London at this precise moment. And no one can take that away from us. So, yeah, overall, buzzing, really happy with that performance. Good to see Poch making more and more influence. Do you know, it's a bit of a weird one. Right? I'm going to say something now. We didn't buy no one in the summer. And there was a big hoo-ha about it, And as fans, we were disappointed, I'm not going to lie. But I think, like, Sissoko being on a different... totally different player this year has helped us. Mora has helped us. Lamella helped us. Winks. So in ways, although we haven't bought these players, you know what I mean? These players are doing bits for us, mate. And they're actually making an impact in our team this year. And mate, I'm just really happy that Tongan's back from injury now. I was on the bench the other day. So we've got a big week ahead of us. I do think we'll beat Inter. And then we've got the big one against you boys next week, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Next Sunday.
So, yeah, next Sunday. So, that'd be an interesting one for us, Just see where we go, mate. I mean, Adrian Durham on TalkSport Drive does nothing.
Please don't bring his name onto this. Like, that guy's a prize for...
I don't want to bring his name into it, but he was going, Spurs fans didn't be out of sleep for the next week. Now today he's on Twitter changing his tune. It's like, mate, shut the fuck up, you twat. I know he does a lot of things just to get the views. I get that, yeah. So that's part and parcel of his job. But, mate, the guy's a moron, mate. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought, yesterday we were just different class, mate. We were different class. Couldn't touch us. That's 7 consecutive London derbies with 1-0. So, yeah, it's good. It's good for us, mate. I'm buzzing for it. Well done. Well done, Spurs.
Cool. Obviously, Ranieri got a win on his first game following our little feature last week, and it seems like the Lady Luck must have listened to our show and realised that we all thought he was going to keep him up and spread a little bit of dust on him. So, obviously this podcast is reaching out to further afield. Glenroy, what did you think of our game earlier?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I mean, to be honest, though, mate. Being totally honest with you, I'll give us I'd say it was about 6 out of 10 today. I don't think it was that great, to be honest. But again, we haven't played great, but we've got a result. We went to a 3 at the back today, and to be honest, we looked uncomfortable from the start. I don't know how much training we'd had on it, because in the first half we didn't really look like we'd had any. Bournemouth were slipping the balls down the sides.
Yeah,
our wing backs were getting caught too far up, leaving Mustafi and Kolasinac, not Kolasinac, sorry, Mustafi and what's the new guy again?
Socrates and Holding.
Yeah, that's it. Socrates and Holding. I couldn't really see like the combination play between them. It just all seemed a bit too flung together, not really rehearsed, too tough. Uh, Although I thought, but like I said, I thought we done well to not play well and still come out of the game with a win again. But I am starting to get a bit worried now about the level of performance.
Mhm.
We're just looking a bit too open,
Mhm.
and he's been it's what like we might as well say like we're caught all the way through the season now.
Mhm.
So and this is the time where I would have thought that we would have started seeing a bit more progression, should we say, in certain
Yeah.
areas. But I mean, in certain areas we have progressed, in others we haven't.
Mm.
Yeah. But no, good. Like I said, it was good win. Go away from home. I mean, again, last season we didn't win a game from home all season.
Mhm.
So could somebody just mute their mic? Yeah. So this is like again another win on the road, and so in that case, I'm positive about that. But yeah, performance wise, not the greatest.
No, definitely it doesn't really fill you with confidence considering we're playing them boys next week. I think one thing that stands out to me is that we seem to be starting slowly week after week, and the fact that we haven't been in front in the first half is becoming a bit of a concern for me now, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I
definitely agree
think,
with that.
I think,
All season.
yeah, we haven't been in the lead at half time yet.
To be fair, mate, it's not bad going, though, is it?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
what a goal. Sorry, mate, but what a goal by that. Is it
it's all
Leno?
right. Yeah,
What a goal. What an own goal, mate.
he's hit that flush straight on the laces, hasn't
Mate,
he?
that was I felt a bit bad for him, mate, but that was a
I didn't.
banger, mate.
Yeah.
He made Lee Dixon's lobs over Seaman look good.
Keeper, no chance.
No, he didn't. Going back to what you were saying, Glenn, where I think Leno's definitely an improvement in goal. For me, the partnership at the back should be Socrates and Holding.
Yeah, I just yeah. As you quickly step on that and that, Holding for me, I think he's probably been our best defender, mate.
Yeah,
Where's
he's
I
really
mean, along
he's
along.
still injured, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Koscielny, to be honest, I don't think he's got a future at
No,
Arsenal now. I think it's more sentimental thing. He's a team captain,
yeah,
but yeah, I think he's finished, and we've definitely got to go out in not so much January, but definitely next year, and
hmm
that is definitely an area where we have got to strengthen that and left
yeah,
back.
yeah, definitely. I mean,
'Cause I hope,
Monreal's Mr. Consistent for us, but I think he's still getting the wrong side of 30.
yeah, that's. I
Uh,
mean, and this is it, Ellis. I mean, at the age of 33, I mean, you look right. We've got Monreal. He's probably been our best defender for the last 3 seasons.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And he's 33, all right? And then we've got Kolasinac. Oh gosh, mate. Do
I've seen
you know?
tractors move quicker than that bloke, mate.
Trust me, the first 3 games for us, 3 or 4 games, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? I thought
Yeah,
just what we needed. And then all of a sudden,
yeah,
he just went to poop. You know what I mean? And
hmm
he's never really come back off it. But
yeah,
yeah, and then again on the other hand side, our backup of Liechtensteiner. Now, he's I think he's just what we needed at this time.
yeah.
But
He's a
obviously,
stopgap.
yeah, that's it. And I think it will help Bellerin on because I think like obviously the last couple of seasons it's been shown that Bellerin is defensively has been really really weak, really poor. So hopefully he can improve him in that sort of in that field, and also just give him a bit more maturity to his game. But then saying that, Bellerin's probably been one of our most improved players this season. So
hmm Definitely, I'll
um,
agree with that.
yeah, so maybe it is actually working. But yeah, definitely centre back because Mustafi again is another defender that I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I
Yeah,
don't. He's an accident waiting to happen.
exactly. Yeah, and I think he just goes out there just to literally slide on the floor. Like you know when you're a kid, yeah, and you go and play
Yeah,
football, and all you want to do is just skid around doing slide tackles
yeah,
on it. That's what he reminds me of. He's just he's terrible. So yeah, I think defensively, we've definitely like next summer. January is obviously
mm,
not a transfer window that you really look to get anyone in, but
no,
next season I'd definitely be looking at both fullbacks and a centre half
yeah,
coming.
and obviously, what would you think to the option of bringing Reece Nelson back from Germany to give us that little bit of squad depth for obviously Welbeck's injury?
Do you know what? I wouldn't. I feel personally, I'd rather keep him out there. I think
Yeah,
he's getting game time. He's playing well. He's loving it out there.
hmm
Um, what's the point in disrupting it? Fair enough. I know. Sorry, God, FM.
Sorry, don't you think you need to try and give your youth a little bit more, like a little bit more of an opportunity? You know.
Yeah, well,
Bring him
we
back and see what he does. You never know, do you?
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I mean, fair enough. Look, Welbeck's got injured, but we've still got Smith Rowe, we've still got Nketiah, you
Maitland
know,
Niles.
Nathan Niles. So we've still got young players coming through. And the thing is, if we bring him back, how many games is he really going to play for us? You know what I
Is he
mean?
playing regular out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays every week. Whether he comes
Fair
on
enough.
as a sub or he's starting, he's playing every week and he's scoring goals and making goals, man. They love him out there. They
Yeah,
absolutely
he got
love him.
he got the player of the Bundesliga last month. I mean,
Yeah, him
everyone,
and everyone's talking about Jadon Sancho over
yeah,
here.
that's just exactly what I was about to say. Everyone's going on
Yeah,
about Sancho, but this guy's getting
but over there,
equally the
mate,
amount of reviews. But
yeah, they're loving him. You know, and again, it just goes to show you like these youngsters now, these England youngsters going away, going abroad, applying their trade abroad. It's only going to be good for them. I think the last generation of so-called golden generation that we had. I think that's one of the reasons why England have never really been able to crack at international level because we've just been too up our own backsides in this country. You know what I mean? Thinking that this is where it's all happening, and really and truly, it may be for money wise, but technical wise, you know, and just being out there, you know, it's not. So I think it's only going to benefit the players, the national team, and also benefit us in the long run. So yeah, I'd say keep him out there, mate.
Where was
definitely.
Ozil today?
No, he was ill, weren't he?
He
He
was
had the
ill.
flu. Yeah, he had the flu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that gusher wind that came past last night, he caught it.
Oh, what that gush of wind weren't Deli Alley running past him, was it?
I don't know what to make of the Ozil thing. To be honest, if you hacked, like when I saw the team come out, when I thought, and you know, Lacazette picked up a virus or a groin strain. Yeah. Obviously got acquainted with one of the receptionists at the hotel they were staying at in France.
You know
But
what I mean?
Ozil, when I saw that, I thought, you know, when the game went on, I thought, well, this game's crying out for a bit of creativity. And is it Emre saying that he can't trust him in this game, or you know, has something gone on behind closed doors? Because he did miss a few games last season from miraculous illnesses quite regularly and stuff like that, and so I don't know. I'm not trying to get a bite out of your comments. I know where you're getting at. Where does Emre trust him in the big in the games and stuff like that? But
this is what I'm trying to say. Is I'm not joking, right? But he didn't perform in the big games against when Wenger was there, and Emre's coming in, and he's not 100% trusting him. And don't get me wrong, on his day he was a quality player, but I don't understand where the comparison of him and Dele Alli come along. I know Dele Alli had a good game on Saturday, and obviously he didn't play this week, so it's typical week to say it. But
where does this comparison come from?
I know, I don't understand it. Oh, mate, listen, I'll give my take on this whole thing. Yeah, I don't know where Dele Alli's come into the whole situation because we were talking about Ozil and Arsenal and them not being there, but you Tottenham fans seem to have this little crush. Well, if you want to compare Dele Alli to Ozil, mate, when Dele Alli decides to win any kind of league, cup, or international,
I'm not on about what they've done. I'm on about on current form. Dele Alli.
Well, Dele Alli's had. Oh no, well, mate. Let's have it right. Let's have
past 2 seasons.
Yeah, let's have it right. Yeah. What did
oh my God! Can I finish what I was saying, please, before everyone cuts me off again?
You know what they're like, Glenroy.
I know, mate.
Can't talk. When we talk about Harry Kane.
Hey, let's not talk about Spurs. Yeah. We talk about Spurs, so we talk about Arsenal when they want to talk about Spurs.
But you're saying you're.
We're not saying anything. You're doing all the talking.
Exactly. What we was actually talking about is Ozil not playing for us today, and I was going to give him a slating, but then you lot decided to switch it on to Spurs.
Sorry, man. I'm not joking. Seriously, I just had to throw the fucking fishing rod out there, man.
I know. Now, look, for me, yeah, I'm not the greatest Ozil fan. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, I don't care who you are, how much you get paid, how silky you think you are. I've seen it too many times with Ozil, yeah. All last season. At the end of the day, mate, if you don't want to play for the club or you think you're too big or you think like you can't play in certain games or you're too big for certain games, mate, go and find another club. You know what I mean? Like not to be funny, yeah, but when he got that contract, that was the last straw with me. Yeah, when he got that contract, I gave him that was his last chance. All right, look, we're giving you the big dough now, but now you've got to be the figurehead of the club. You've got to be the beacon of the club. You've got, you know what I mean? You've got to carry the club on your shoulders as a captain would. You know what I mean? You're getting captain's wages. You've got to perform. And to be fair, this season's probably been his best season for us, apart from his second season that he had. But then I say all that, mate. But then when you look at his stats, what am I complaining about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's frustrating, man. It's so frustrating because
I think with him as well, like he's a bit of an easy target at times because
he is.
You know, he
because
pay attention to his body language and things like that. Where you know, and when you're watching the game, like when people watch it at home on TV and stuff like that, they miss a lot of the running that he actually does.
Yeah.
And he doesn't necessarily get a lot.
But do you know what, Dennis? My frustration doesn't really come with it is his work rate, but do you know what it is, bro? It's when we need him. You know what I mean? Like you got them times when you need your top players to
in the big games.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Take the game by the scruff of the neck. Like you need a leader. He ain't gonna look to Özil to bring you out of a dark place. You know what I mean?
Definitely. He's not a talisman.
Nah, exactly.
No. And I think with Özil, all the players around him sometimes need to be on their game to get the best out of him as well.
Yeah, but when you're on talisman wages, bro, you've got to be a talisman.
Like,
you know
when I'm not comparing the two at all, but like when we had Henri and people like that, it didn't matter if the team weren't playing well or the team were playing well. If you were in the shit, he could get you out of it, and you'd almost think, there's 5 minutes left, Thierry's still going to do something for us in this game. Anyway,
not Harry Kane for us, really, isn't it?
God, mate.
I'm just saying.
These boys are getting bored by the sounds of the messages we're coming through, so we're talking about players that have won things too much. So let's move on. Anyways, so
is that all you got, Ellis?
Mastermind round 2, following on from last week's feature. The listeners have requested a round 2, and due to some dubious scoring, Hassan was the eventual winner, so he will be hosting.
Was that including his Google 55 typing?
Yeah, that was including my band mod. Yeah.
So he will be hosting this week's In the Box Mastermind. So Harry, the host, over to you.
Yes, boys. Right. So first and foremost, make sure your cameras are on, so we can make sure that no one's going to be cheating.
Everyone's like you, mate.
I know, bro.
I just think that's the best way forward. So
I can't put my camera on right now, bro.
It just saves everything. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
All right.
Man's got to look professional.
All right, listen. So basically, I've got 12 questions today. They're all based on Premier League, either present or past. I will give you options, and you'll get like up to 10 seconds to give me your options, and then I'll work my way round, and I'll choose randomly who I'm going to ask first. You know the rules, boys. Don't change it.
Are you doing the scoring as well?
I'm doing the scoring and everything as we go along.
I'm double checking the scoring.
Okay.
You can double check it as much as you like.
Don't worry about. I can. You're all right, mate. He's on your team. You know what I mean? It's me and Ellis who's got to watch out.
You know. Right. Okay. You ready? First question. So listen to my questions clearly as well, right? Because they're all various, a couple of tricks things in there, right? So first question, who has more Premier League appearances in the Premier League history? A, John Terry, or B, Jermaine Defoe? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, I'll go with Ellis first.
Come on, Ellis. Who are you taking so long about?
Defoe.
Glenroy?
Yeah, I said Defoe.
Hakan?
Yeah, I'll go Defoe as well.
Defoe as well, yeah. Defoe's correct. Well, there was only 2 caps in between it, mate. The 2 appearances between the two.
Really?
Jermaine Defoe had 2 more appearances than John Terry. Okay, so another one.
Does John Terry's appearance on the subs bench fully kitted up to collect a trophy count?
Was that in the Premier League? That was
I don't know.
That's Champions League, wasn't it?
Right, question number 2. In Premier League history, who has kept the most clean sheets out of the next 3? A. Joe Hart, B. Jose Reina, or C. David De Gea?
Jose Reina. Is that Pepe Reina?
Yeah, Jose Pepe Reina. Yeah, Pepe
Okay,
Reina.
cool.
For those who don't know his proper name, Pepe Reina.
So that's Hart, Reina, and who was the last one?
Hart, Reina, or De Gea? Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Glenroy.
I'll go. I'll go Reina.
Okay. Hakan?
I'll go Rainer as well.
Ellis?
I'm going to try and get a lead here and say Joe Hart.
Never Joe Hart, bro. Come on. He's awful.
It is A. Joe Hart.
Boom!
No way! How the heck?
Oh no, it's weird, isn't it?
That
I was
is
a bit
terrible.
mad about that.
Do you know what, right? I thought Joe Hart, all right, fair enough, he played for City, but I thought he's always conceded goals, though. Like, they've never really had a good defence. And then obviously, who was the other one? Not Reina, who was the other one?
Reina or De
De Gea. I thought De Gea,
yeah.
I thought if he'd have came in, Ferguson's a bit more under Ferguson. Yeah, but...
I think it was just all about...
To be fair...
I looked at Reina.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I would have gone with De Gea myself, but, you know... But yeah, Joe Hart it was, mate. Surprise, surprise. Okay, question number 3. Who has the most assists this season in the Premier League? Is it A, Raheem Sterling? Is it B, Ryan Fraser? Or is it C, Mendy for Man City? So that's Raheem Sterling, Ryan Fraser, or Mendy for City. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hakan. Fraser. Ellis.
Fraser.
Glenroy.
Then took on Fraser. Do you know what? I'll go Mendy.
See, now it's actually Bournemouth's Ryan Fraser.
How many assists has he got?
I think he's got about 9 at the moment. I
He didn't write it down.
I didn't even write because what I should have done was write the number down next to it. I didn't. I totally forgot. I couldn't bother to go back and look for it. So yeah, I think it's about 9 he's got. Okay, 4. This is an interesting one. Most yellow cards in the Premier League history out of the below 3. Is it A, Wayne Rooney? Is it B, Lee Bowyer? Or is it C, Robbie Savage?
Oh, come on, Robbie.
So you're going Robbie, Glenroy?
Yeah, I'll go Robbie.
I'm going to go Wayne.
You're going Wayne, Hakan.
Robbie's probably got more red cards than anything.
I'm going Wayne.
Wayne Rooney.
You're going Wayne Rooney as
well?
Yeah,
Wazza.
So Hakan and
Ellis gone Wayne.
Rooney, and you've gone Savage.
Yeah.
No one's gone for Lee Bowyer. But it is Wayne Rooney, believe it or not. I'm a bit surprised. I thought Lee Bowyer would be in there.
No, I think Bowyer. He would have had a few, but I think he maybe not as many years as the rest of them.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's right because he kind of like was already playing when the Premier League was introduced. So
yeah.
Right, number 5. Most red cards in Premier League history. So this can open up a few doors here. A, Roy Keane. B, Patrick Vieira. Or C, Gareth Barry.
Oh.
All 3 of them are prone to a red.
Oh, how's your luck?
We know Roy Keane and Vieira used to have their little tussles and bustles, little handbags. Gareth Barry with his dirty little challenges. I mean, I think he put out Gareth Barry about 3 times for long-term injuries.
Oh. Bless him.
So, what are we saying then? So, we'll start with Ellis.
Vieira.
Glenroy?
Yeah, I'll go Vieira as well.
I'm going Barry.
You're going Barry. Yeah, to be fair, it was B, Vieira.
Get in there, my sweet son.
Good old Arsenal winning bits.
As always.
All right. Right, after five questions so far, we've got Glenroy on 2, Hakan on 3, and Ellis with a straight 5.
Knowledge is power. Remember that,
Ellis,
please.
I can't I can't see your camera, Ellis.
I was thinking, who did Ellis get for number 2? The goalkeeper question.
Joe
You
Hart.
and Joe Hart.
This is a fix. Go on, carry on.
If you need a
Every week it's a fix, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
we
It's
need
between you two, though, isn't it? You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Nah,
That's
nothing
all
like
right,
that.
mate.
No, what's up, yeah.
It's the over 40s,
Right.
over 40s camp.
Right,
Good.
number 6. Question number 6. It's another history one, right? So in Premier League history, who has hit the woodwork the most? So who has hit the woodwork the most in Premier League history? Is it A, Defoe, B, Crouch, or C, Aguero? So I'll say it again. Who has hit the woodwork the most in the Premier League's history? Is it A, Defoe, B, Crouch, or C, Aguero?
Who was the first one?
Defoe. Jermaine Defoe.
He is a Udo.
No, he's not. He plays for Bournemouth.
Well, you got Big Pete. Or you got Little Aguero. So we'll start off Glenroy.
You know what? I'll go JD.
JD. Okay, cool. Hakan.
Aguero.
Okay. Matt.
Crouch.
Oh, 3 different questions, 3 different answers, boys. Right, boys. To be fair, who hit the woodwork the most times? It's Aguero, boys. It's Aguero.
Bang! Come on!
I'm a bit surprised as well because I think he's been in the Premier League the least amount of time than the other two. And
I'm a bit surprised at that. Being the best striker in the league, and that I thought he might have not hit the post.
That's what I thought, but I mean, good strikers put the ball in the back of the net and hit the post.
So you imagine that then, yeah. Imagine if we'd have put in half of them ones to the ones that already scored.
Yeah,
I know exactly, but that's the point. He didn't get, he might have gotten 3 points, might not have got 3 points. The ball got going in the back of the net, so cross that line.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to question 7, boys. Right, the most penalty saves by a goalkeeper in the Premier League. Is it A, Ben Foster? Is it B, Hilario Gomez? Or is it C?
Hilarious Gomez.
Or C, Joe Hart? So who has made the most penalty saves in the Premier League? A, Ben Foster. B, Gomez. C, Hart. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start with Hakan.
Why don't you ever start with Ellis? But I'm happy to go start. I'm going to say Joe Hart. But I think this is an Ellis tactic for him to win, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going Joe Hart. Hakan? Ellis?
You see, look, you even asked me twice.
Gomez.
Gomez. Glenroy?
Yeah, Gomez, mate.
Gomez.
That's what he's known for, isn't it?
Yeah, Gomez is the correct answer. Gomez has saved 9 penalties. Joe Hart has saved 7, and Ben Foster has saved 6.
They do call him the octopus, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Question number 8. Guys, it was very difficult, and I think I've repeated myself too many times on this one. But anyway, one more time. Question number 8. Who has made the most saves in the Premier League? Is it Lores? A, B, Rob Green? Or is it C, is it Bekovic? So who has made the most saves in the Premier League? Is it A, Lloris, B, Rob Green, or C, Bekovic? Just to clarify, it's in the history of the Premier League.
Green.
Hakan's gone green. Ellis?
Didn't mind going first that time, did you?
Yeah, I know.
Judging by some of the fucking centre halves you've had over the years, I'm going to say Lloris.
I'll say, I don't think it's Rob Green. He's been relegated too many times. I'd say Lloris, or who was the other one?
Bekovic.
Yeah. Oh gosh, bloody hell, he's been relegated. I'll go Bekovic just because he's. Yeah.
You're going Bekovic. So the answer is actually Rob Green. Rob Green has made 795 saves. Bekovic has made 723 saves. And Lores because the back line's so strong, he's only had to make 544 saves.
Well, yeah, he
So
had
that's
played that
Hakan.
much. He's been in court that many times with driving. He ain't been playing that much.
All right, moving on to question number 9. Okay, so this is a season question. So, who scored the most goals in the 2015-16 season? So, who has scored the most goals in 2015-16 season? Is it A, Giroud? Is it B, Mahrez? Or is it C, Sanchez? But just to clarify my question, I'm not saying they finished the highest goal scorer in that season. But out of these three, who has scored the most goals? A, Giroud.
Is that just in the Premier League?
Just in the Premier League in 2015-16 season. A, Giroud, B, Mahrez, C, Sanchez.
Oh, is that 2?
5, 4, 3,
Oh, is that
2,
2?
1.
Oh, is that 2?
Right, Glenroy.
I'll go Sanchez.
Sanchez. Okay. Ellis?
Mahrez.
Hakan?
Is it, just to clarify, is this the season?
No.
It's just
No, you can't be giving no clues, bro.
Mahrez.
I'm the
Sorry.
man in this quiz, all right?
Good man. Look at these teeth.
So who are you going with, Hakan?
Mahrez.
Right. So the answers are it's Mahrez who scored 17. Giroud's got 16 and Sanchez only got 13. So that's one for Hakan, one for Ellis. Right, boys, on to question number 10. Most clean sheets in 2014-15 season. So most clean sheets, 2014-15 season. Is it A, Joe Hart? Is it B, De Gea? Or is it C, Courtois? So, most clean sheets in 2014-15 season. A, Hart, B, De Gea, and C, Courtois.
14-15 season.
Let's go first.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, go on, Ellis.
De Gea?
Okay. Glenroy?
Yeah, De Gea.
Courtois.
You're going Courtois. Wow, boys. First time no one's got a question right. It was A, Joe Hart. 14 clean sheets. De Gea got 10 and Courtois got 12.
Joe
No one got a point. Yeah, I know. Madness, weren't it?
Yeah.
Must have been Mancini days.
He ain't got a bag in him. I can't believe he's got clean sheets.
Right, 2 more questions left. The scores are currently sitting.
Wait till the next question or the last question.
Nah, it's best I tell them now. Right, so I currently got Ellis has 8, Hakan has 6, and Glenroy has 3. Glenroy, I'm starting to question your knowledge on football, mate.
Rude boys, because these questions that you be telling and that are just some fake crap.
What do you mean? Hakan's doing all right. Ellis is doing all right.
Yeah, it's because you boys, I've got a life.
Yeah. What, listening to them podcasts while you're driving around?
You know what I mean, rude boy?
Yeah.
Now, do you know what it is, mate?
I
went and bought the new Football Manager, didn't I?
It's all going to go wrong now.
Oh, trust me.
Maybe we could ask you something like who's going to be the next, I don't know, Henri for Arsenal in the next 5 years.
Mate, I'll tell you what, I think I've had about 2 hours sleep in the last 3 days.
Mate, that's bad. It's like bloody cracking it.
It's better.
Right, question number 11, boys. So 2 questions left. Question number 11. Who won Manager of the Season in 2013-14 season? Who won Manager of the Season, Golden Manager of the Season, Manager of the Season in 2013-14 season? Was it A, Alan Pardew? Was it B, Harry Redknapp? Or was it C, Tony Pulis? So again, who won Manager of the Season in 2013-14? Alan Pardew, Harry Redknapp, Tony Pulis. Hakan, your mic's on mute. Let's go.
Yeah, it's because he's just typing into Google.
Yeah. You're going Pardew, yeah?
Pardew? Nah, he's dusty. 13-14 season.
13-14 season.
That's mad.
Come on,
Then
stop
we-
thinking about it. What's your answer, guys?
Yeah.
He hasn't asked us, has he? He just
Yeah,
asked
I
you.
have. I've asked you. Then what?
Oh, right. Oh, seen. What was the Pardew, Harry, and who?
Pulis.
Oh, well, definitely Pulis. I'll go, buddy. Oh God, fuck bit. I would say Harry, but fuck that. I'll go what I can say.
Pardew, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Glenn, Ellis?
I'm going to go Pulis.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Pulis. Tony Pulis.
Oh, that's when he kept up thingy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kept up Stoke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, kept up Stoke.
I'll just sit this question out if that's all right with you boys.
Why didn't you sit the question out for? This is aimed at Arsenal.
Yeah, well, give somebody else a chance to try and catch me.
Right, last and final question. Golden Boot 2010-11 season. So who won the Golden Boot in 2010-11 season? Was it A, Van Persie? Was it B, Dimitar Berbatov? Or was it C, Cristiano Ronaldo? Golden Boot 2010-11 season. A, Van Persie. B, Dimitar Berbatov. Or C, Cristiano Ronaldo. So coming in, Ellis. As soon as you're sitting it out. Back you, man.
No.
Nah, he was probably injured.
She said no on Robbins, so I'm going to say no to him as well. Berber for me.
Berber. Okay. Hakan.
Berber.
And Ellis.
Grenroy.
Okay, Glenroy, sorry.
I'll go Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. It was Dimitar Berbatov for Tottenham.
No, I'd rather get it wrong than fucking bet on you guys.
I know, right, mate. You know what I mean? Right, guys. So that's the end of the quiz this week. So, in first place, we've got Matthew on Ellis on 10. Second place, Hakan with 7. Good run there, Hakan. And third place, we've got Clueless Glenboy. With only 3.
I said my intelligence is in other fields, mate.
Yeah, right, mate. I know what them intelligence are, mate. Destinations. But yeah, boys. So that's it. So Ellis, the winner. So Ellis, you're back to doing the quiz next week, mate.
Right, okay.
That's your winning. That's your winner. What you do for winning?
Well, can't me and I can do it or something? Because we're not allowed.
Well, no, it's about the winning one, mate. The person that wins it.
Oh, it's winner stays on.
Yeah, winner gets it.
Jeez, I better start winning.
Do you know what I mean?
Hashtag winning.
Exactly, mate. Do a bit of research. So yeah, boy, that's it.
Cool.
Well done.
Thanks for the game, lads. Thanks for turning up. So yeah, that brings us on to the main topic of the evening, and to be honest with you, it's not really a light-hearted topic this week. Following, I listened to, I don't know if you guys listened to it, a BBC Sports podcast this week called The Black Footballer's Dilemma, hosted by Clark Carlisle, talking about the issue of racism within the game, how it's evolved over the years from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s. And then, it just sort of what stuck out to me was just how horrific it was over the years. And I've actually, been going to football probably since I was about the age of 6 or 7. I've actually witnessed it firsthand at football games when I went a lot more regularly than nowadays, which is, I think it's great, to be honest. It's got no place. It doesn't sit right with me at all. And then there's been clubs that have confirmed that they actually racially profile their youth players in their recruitment. And then comments Gareth Southgate's made as well, which obviously was, kind of sort of pushed back on him by ex-England international, actually the first ever black player to play for England, in Viv Anderson, when Southgate said that the diversity of our country has now given us strong and powerful athletes. What do you guys think? I'll be quite interested to hear all your thoughts on it. I hope we're in agreement that it hasn't got any place in the game for me, not just in the game, but in society, full stop. And, are organisations like Kick It Out actually making it a difference? Are clubs actually following through what they're supposed to do? The thing that sticks out for me is whether it was confirmed or not. The whole Luis Suarez Evra incident, and then the whole Liverpool team the next game are running around with T-shirts with Suarez 7 on. Turns out we actually said the derogatory comments, and I think that a bit of a sham by that club, to be honest. So what are your thoughts on it? Have you had experiences of it within the games yourself? Do you think it is still an issue in the game? Are Southgate's comments taken out of context, or do you think there is an underlying meaning in them? Over to you guys. I will open this up to... Go on, G, you can go first.
All right, yeah. I think I'm going to quite enjoy this topic, actually. All right, I'll start back and then work my way forward. Well, obviously, as we know, racism in football has been prevalent in English football since the 60s, 70s, really.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a lot worse, obviously, back then to what it is now, by tenfold, just mainly because it was allowed, really, especially back in the 70s. But I think you have to give props to teams like West Brom, Wolves. Chelsea had a few, even though the fans were a bit
national fronted sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy because you see like the club's got these one or two black players, but the fans are gunning for you. You know what I mean? And you're trying to win a game for them. So it's a bit crazy. But I think like, especially in the Midlands where you had a big core of Caribbean, second Caribbean descendants that was coming through, especially like in and around Birmingham, Wolverhampton, West Bromwich, and that. So you found like a lot more players were around in them sort of towns and that. But
they had the famous 3 degrees.
That's it. Yeah.
Cunningham.
Yeah,
Cunningham and Brendan Batson.
Yeah. R.I.P. Cyril Regis. I mean, Cyril is an iconic. I mean, for us black folk, man, Cyril he's one of them guys that you'd pin a poster up of him.
Yeah.
When you look back at some of the things, I mean, me growing up, growing up in that and getting into football, my dad and my uncles and that, they'd always talk about them three, especially because obviously when they were growing up and over here and that, they were facing a lot of what these guys are facing. You know what I mean? And it was these guys that really was making a stand against football, against society, against politicians, just on all fronts. You know what I mean? So for me, growing up, like this had a big influence on me. And me myself, growing up and playing football, I experienced a lot of racism in football.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like all growing up until I retired, which about 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, like teams like West Brom and that, Ron Atkinson, you know what I mean? I've given him his dues. He's been a bit controversial over the years, but again, he's old school. You know what I mean? He's old school. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know,
that's what was so surprising with the whole Desailly comments when he came out of it. You look at his previous, and you're like, if anyone was going to say it, you'd think it wouldn't be him because when it came into the 70s and stuff like that, where people were scared to almost pick a black player because they would question, can they do it at Stoke on a cold Tuesday night? He had no, he didn't look into that.
He didn't care. No, that's it. I mean, there was a story with him and Laurie Cunningham. And he was like, I think Laurie Cunningham was making his first game for West Brom or something.
Yeah.
And Atkinson pulled him over and said to him, look, you ready to go on and that? And Cunningham obviously heard that you see all the jeers and everyone obviously making monkey noises at him and baboon noises and chucking bananas down while he's warming up. So he looked all like scared and shook and that. And Atkinson pulls him over and goes, look, mate, if you know what I mean, you've got to be ready to get on there. you ready to get on? And Cunningham was like, nah, just ran off into the changing rooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To sort of think like, oh my god, like what must it have been like for a player to do that? You know what I mean? And it's just, but I mean, like coming up to like today. I mean, it's for me, racing football's still big prevalent, especially I mean within the FA, within the clubs, within it.
I'll just chop in there. Do you know like that experience? What you just said, G?
Yeah.
What year was that roughly?
That would have been like 76, something like that, about mid-70s.
Mid-70s, so...
Yeah, 70, 76, 77.
40, 50 years later on.
Yeah. Shocking. You can't really believe it,
and we're
can
still
you?
speaking about this same subject. I'm not joking, but thank God, do you know what I mean? People see life differently now to when they did 50 years ago.
Oh, yeah, you know it, don't you?
I think one of the main problems we've got is, this is going on and on, but this is going into a different subject, but the hierarchy of the world, they are the older generation.
That's why we're in this fucking mess politically at the moment, because a lot. Sorry to go off tangent, but you know it was one of the highest votes where the older generation came out and voted in a long time. But let's stick to this.
Yeah. But what I'm getting back to, it's 50 years. I didn't think it would be as long as 50 years, but look how far we've come. Not saying that it's obviously still rife, but at least we don't see. Do you know what I mean? Bananas being thrown on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely.
Abroad, they still do that.
I mean, for me,
I've seen someone throw a banana at Ian Wright before.
Can I just finish quickly?
Yeah, of course you can.
All right, sorry, lads. I'm nearly done now. I mean, like back in the 70s, there was reportedly roughly about 50 back players playing in English football. You know what I mean? In the whole of English football. So if you compare that to now, I think there's been about 100 and something black players just playing for the England national team. You know what I mean? So we've come a long way. Obviously, there's still a long more way to go. Especially like for me, the FA have got a lot to answer for. With like obviously the Eni Aluko case with Mark Sampson, Bruce Spence, and then you had like I said the John Terry, Anton Ferdinand saga with Rio. And also as well, you've got to look at job prospects and that for after, like, you know what I mean? If you look at the amount of black players and ethnic players that are in the Premier League that have played in the English game at all levels, not even just the Premier League, at all levels, and then look at the coach, like how much they make up of the coaching, the managerial and board level stuff. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. It's probably things like 0.001% or something like that.
Well, how many black managers do we have in the Premier League? In fact, let's not just say black managers, but how many?
Sorry, Jeff, you finished?
Yeah, go on. You look. Yeah, I finished.
Go on, Hass.
How many minority?
How
many? No, I've got Chris Hughton, currently the only black manager in the Premier League.
And the Wolves manager.
Wolves manager as well, I'd say.
And he's foreign. You know what I mean?
He's Portuguese though, isn't he?
Yeah. If you look at him, if you're talking just English, it's only really Chris Hughton. He's the only one. I mean, the one more from West Brom's just got the job. I mean, if you look back over the years, there's only been a handful. John Barnes had a stint, didn't he? He had one job at Celtic and never got another job after that. Les Ferdinand, he's in C. He had one job as well. Never had an opportunity after that.
There's rumours of him joining the FA.
Yeah.
There's rumours of Les Ferdinand going.
He's pulled out, isn't he?
Yeah,
he pulled out. He took his name out. I think he knew he weren't going to get it. To be fair.
Chris, is it not Chris Ramsey? Is it Chris Powell? Did he manage in the Premier League at one point?
Charlton,
yeah, Charlton, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that just goes to show. We're struggling to find out, enough players just on one hand. You know what I mean? So I think that just goes to show. But like I said, I mean, in some respects, we've come a long way. I think socially, we've come a long way more than say institutionally. I think institutionally, there's still a big problem in the game. Whether it will go away, I don't think it will. Not until the guys at the top change. And like I said, there's some younger guys at the top with, just new generation.
Cool. Lastly on you then, Glenroy. Southgate's comments, what do you make of that? Do you think there's something in it, or do you think it's...
Do you know what? I think I can see both sides of it, but personally speaking, I think it's been taken a bit out of context. I think, to be honest, I think Southgate is just glad and relieved that that England have got some options now. You know what I mean? Because if you took out the black players out of the England squad, what would we be left with?
Yeah, no, I
You
can
know what I
understand
mean?
where you're
It'll
coming
be
from.
yeah. So I think. I mean, I didn't hear the comments personally, so I'm just going off really of what you just said now. But I think it's more. I don't think he meant it to be.
Yeah, he didn't
Sort
make
of way.
it was nothing like
Nah,
racially. He was
yeah.
just stating, in a way, he was just.
I think he was trying to make a
fact.
positive thing.
Yeah, of course.
I think it was he was trying to state facts, but trying to make it into a positivity rather than a
Look how
negative thing.
look how diverse our country is now, and we're reaping the benefits of that, rather than get these idiots making derogatory comments about it.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I think. Just from listening to
Cool. Haas, I'll let you have your say on this.
Well, I think everyone's touched down a little bit, but I think, as a country, I think since the referendum, racism was always within the game. I think it was always in society, to be honest with you. But I always thought it was in the game. And I know this is going a little bit off to it, but obviously after the referendum, I think a lot more people had more balls to come back out and start being more vocally racist instead of obviously keeping it to themselves. Do you see what I mean? I mean, ask me a question. Like we've gone through this already, but how many black managers, or how many black managers do we have in the Premier League or in the Championship? How many black managers do we have on the FA? How many black people do we have on the FA? How many black people are actually involved? I mean, we always want to use black
it doesn't necessarily.
football.
It doesn't necessarily have to be just black players. I think it's
no, of course not. 100% not.
100%
not. I mean, regarding ethnics, obviously, I think ethnics in management has expanded and become more open. I think we have more ethnic minority managers in the Premier League now, but I think that's just due to the style of the play, and the way they play football and everything else.
I mean, when we say ethnic, now, I mean, let's get it right. I mean, how many Asian kids do we see coming through playing football?
I
was just about to say that. I was about to say that again myself.
You know what I mean? It's really
issue in itself.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's not really down to football. I think that's down to home. That's more down to like home. You know what I mean? Like when I was growing up, none of my
cultural inclusion and stuff like that.
But look, on a serious note, but tell me, one Pakistani or Indian or Bangladeshi player that plays football.
Dele Alli.
No. And you're going to tell me that person that they've got no players, within their culture that are good enough to play Premier League football.
Oh no, definitely no. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you look at like the ratio, is what I'm saying. Like obviously,
very small.
Yeah, it's going to be like, I mean, compared to obviously even black players, you're going to find that Asian players, you know what I mean, it's going to be like probably not even 5% of even black players that actually come through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying. I think that's the problem. And I think deep down, I think the FA's full of old, no disrespect, what I'm going to say, but it's full of old people.
Farts, mate.
Old farts, old white people, old white men. I'm not saying that they're being racist as individuals, far from that, yeah? Do you understand what I mean? But I don't know why, it's that personnel, it's that perception that you get, with the FA. Do you know what I mean? You don't really see, a foreign face within their ranks, not
England,
visually anyway, that I've seen, and I think it's a big problem, and I think it's becoming more vocal. Now we're not going to see the past where bananas being thrown on the pitch and people making monkey charts in the UK, because we will obviously there'll be a big hoo-ha and a big issue about it, and that'll be cut out straight away. But I believe there's racism that is institutional still in football. Yeah, 100%. And I'll tell you what, going back, I heard Gareth Southgate's comments, right? And again, I feel that they were taken out of content. I think we looked far too much into that. And I'll tell you the reason why. I think what he was trying to say was being positive and not like, I think, Ellis, you touched on it earlier on. I think what he's trying to say here is that we are blessed to be such a diverse country that we have the option to have these players. Do you see what I mean? And I think that's, like always, we like to take, or some people like to take the smallest thing out of content and try to make it a massive thing.
And just to add on to that as well, Hassan. I mean, if you look at it, for instance, like like with Gareth Southgate. I mean, you look at some of the things that he has to do. I mean, look at Raheem Sterling and the abuse that
Yeah.
he gets for playing, like when playing for England.
Hmm.
Now, like I sometimes and I sit there and I think like,
I think there's more to it,
of
mate.
course, it's got to be in it, really
Yeah,
and truly. Like,
definitely.
not to be funny, but you see a young black man, yeah, that's making lots of money. He's got a good life for himself. You know what I mean? And it's just like there's certain factions in society that just hate to see that. You know what I mean? And I sort of think to myself like all right, like growing up here, like there was always a thing like where you had like the blonde hair, like obviously it's not going to be the blonde hair, blue eyes, but that was the stereotypical. You know what I mean? It was always like for us the face of England.
Yeah,
Yeah, and remember a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about like the whole when we was talking about like caps for England and strikers and
hmm
that, and I was saying about Shearer, like there was other players like for instance like there was like remember when Ian Wright, Andy Cole,
yeah,
all them guys I felt really at the time should have been playing for England, but obviously there's a if you like Hassan said like if your face doesn't fit, then it don't matter about ability or what you have to
yeah.
offer. You know what I mean? I think image is more important to certain
It's
factions of the FA
it's
than
almost
actual
like what
ability.
Sol Campbell said. If he was a white guy, he'd have captained England 50 times.
Exactly that, exactly that. And even look at Sol
Yeah,
like I said, in coaching and management.
yeah. I think he's just about to get a job at Macclesfield now.
Oh, was he? Because I
Yeah,
thought there
the
was
other
rumors of
day.
him.
Yeah,
Went there rumors of him taking the number two at with under 21s or something.
yeah. And I think he's going to Macclesfield to start off. I
Just,
think. Like, think of the experience that guy's got, and you look at these people like Mark Hughes and Pardew that keep getting jobs at the top level, and really like,
yes, it's
yeah.
weird. It is
Sorry to
weird.
cut you off there, mate.
No, no, I'm done. I just wanted to add that
Yeah,
little piece on. Yeah.
cool. Hakan.
Yeah, well, to be honest, you pretty much elaborated on most of the things. I mean, regarding Southgate, I totally agree. I don't think he was being racist. I think, like my brother was just saying, he was just um, saying that he's just glad to have the option of diverse the people in our country. I mean, regarding, I was going to say the thing about the Asian players. We don't see enough of them in the Premier League, and there must be something to that. But coming about what's the solutions to it, guys? I honestly do
Yeah,
feel the clubs can do more, the FA can do more, even the PFA can do more as of such. That's another subject on its
I
own.
think that's a separate issue in itself. I think the
But
PFA at the moment.
I don't think the football authorities are doing enough. I
No.
think they've come leaps and bounds, but I think they've got to a barrier and they've stopped. And I think they need to break down the next barrier and move on. Yeah, and like I say, I just
Do you think? Yeah,
go.
talking about solutions. Do you what would you guys think too? Because in the NFL, where they have this what's called the Rooney Rule,
Yeah,
where they have to, for pretty much every job going, they have like a black or ethnic minority candidate that gets through to the final stages for being interviewed in order to try and raise inclusion and diversity within sort of the management of the game. What would you think to that if that was brought into
I
the
will
Premier
say
League?
this. Yeah, I mean, I might be totally wrong here, but I'm just thinking flash of the pan in my head.
Yeah.
But even in Europe, how many black managers do you see? How many black managers do you see
Well,
managing Real Madrid?
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean to be fair, like I said, I mean you got to think. I mean, if you look at Europe as a whole, yeah, England is probably the most welcoming country when it comes to
Yeah.
these sort of things. So I think anything in Europe is going to be beaconed over here first before it even gets spread over to Europe. I think the only other countries in Europe which might do it may be France. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's obviously just because of obviously like the
Well,
history, the
that's
history and stuff.
yeah.
But when it comes to the top clubs, I don't think you're not gonna find it because
Yeah.
the structure's all the same.
I think Seedorf had a brief stint as manager of AC, didn't he, for a bit, and now he's obviously gone on to manage the Cameroon national team. But
You say that about France, but I mean, like, even France, look how much
yeah,
racism there is in that game.
Oh yeah,
If I'm right in
definitely.
saying, didn't they say something like most of the fans or most of the general public question like the ethnic,
yeah, it's not the real France and things
yeah,
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
and stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah.
and I
But I
think
feel,
they
as well. Though, I think that comes. I think the thing is though as well. Like you got, it's hard because like we it kind of mixes football and politics. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
becomes all political, like with the fans and that, because you're getting a lot of these far right ultras now that are coming out, and it's politically driven, but it's like taken to the football, if you know what I mean. And it's like a bit of a crossover. And the only reason why I say France is because obviously, like you see the inclusion of Henri, Vieira. There's been a couple of other managers over the years that have got jobs like in the top
Yeah.
league in France, which is why I say that compared to any other.
So
country.
do you think it'd be a great thing politically for France, say if someone like Zidane was to be the next manager, especially with his Arabic and Algerian roots?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing first and foremost, I think you've got to be able to do the job, whether
Yeah.
you're black, white, Chinese, whatever. If you can't do the job, then it doesn't matter. There's no point in putting you in. You know what I mean? However, if you can do the job, no matter of your race, ethnicity, whatever, then everyone should be given a fair crack at the whip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, Zidane. I mean, he's won 3 Champions Leagues on the trot. You know what I mean? So obviously, he's got the grade to be up there, and he should be given a fair crack at the whip. Whereas somebody like say Henri, for instance, just took over as Monaco, hasn't really done it at the top yet. All right, he's had a little stint with as assistant with Belgium. But you know what I mean. But I wouldn't just go put Henri's name in there just because he's a black man and he's got coaching badges, just to make. You know what I mean? If you're not, like I say, if you're not qualified or you haven't got the experience to do it, but then you've got to be careful with just say experience, because you only can get experience by doing a certain job. You know what I mean? So you have to be given an opportunity as well. But yeah, it's a for me, mate. You've got to be able to. You've got to have the qualifications to do it, even if you haven't got the experience.
Yeah.
And for me personally, especially when it comes to that Rooney rule.
No, definitely. What do you guys think to that?
What, the Rooney rule?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think. Oh no, let's get this right. Whether you're black, white, pink, green, like I'm just echoing what Jigger was saying, it's whether you're the best person for the job. And that's as simple as. But I think there should, whether it be the Rooney rule or anything, because that can still get bypassed. It can all get bypassed.
Yeah.
But I think something needs to be introduced. And maybe that's what it takes, to be fair. But, yeah. That's cool. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah. Haas. Okay.
I don't see, although I understand why it would come in and we'd do it, but I don't see why should we have to do that this day and age? Do you know what I mean? You should be picked for not your colour of skin and not what religion you are. You should be picked on whether you've got the ability and the know-how how to do that game, how to play that, and the knowledge to be that manager. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
You know, that's how I see it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, this subject kind of like frustrates me and it gets me quite angry because like I just think there's no need for it, and I don't know why we still live in this, you know, in this past for it to be carrying on like this still. But it is something that we live in. That's the truth. Not everyone sees it. Only some people will see it. The people that don't see it, the people that don't want to see it, or are too ignorant to it, you know. And yeah, I haven't got really much more to say on this subject, mate, because it just pisses me off.
Okay. Last question then, especially this is aimed at you Spurs boys. Obviously, you guys call yourselves Yids, Yid Army and stuff like that. Sorry to go off on a bit of a tangent, but is that still socially acceptable? Or
why is it not? I don't get why it's not. It's not like we are shouting and screaming at an individual, or some people might say it's a bit hypocritical, right? But this is when I just think like it's very touchy subjects on things. You know, like Black Friday. Oh, why don't we have White Friday? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like man-sized tissues. Well, why does it have to be man-sized tissues? Why can't it be woman-sized tissues, or you know, whatever they want to call them now? You know, I think that's the same case scenario. Now, obviously, if we are abusing a Jewish person and calling them yid, yeah, then that's fine. I get that's not acceptable, yeah. But we are known as a Jewish club, right?
Yeah, you've got a lot of Jewish heritage with the club, so yeah, I know what you're saying with that.
It's part of our history. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's like sitting here we're called the Yid Army, and it's like sitting there saying, right, no, that's not socially acceptable anymore. You have to call yourself the White Army. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that'd be a minefield in itself, calling yourselves the White Army, I think.
Yeah, but I'm just giving that an
Yeah,
example.
I know you are, mate. I know you are.
But I mean, it's hard for us to say because we're not Jewish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A Jewish person might feel totally differently about it.
Yeah.
But as a Spurs fan, who's been singing Yid Army for the whole of my life, whole 22 years of my life.
22, leave off, mate. Who are you trying to keep?
Boys, I don't know what happened there.
It's all right. It's still online.
But then, do you know what I mean? How far do you go with it? How can you sit there and say, it's not a problem, but yet when our arch rivals are singing songs and calling us Yid Army, Yid stuff, and that's not being racist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
You got to take the ins and outs. You got Chelsea fans. You know what I mean? Doing like the gas chamber noises to the Spurs fans and that. Do you know what I mean?
That's just fucking idiotic, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's basically throughout football. It's not just about. I mean, don't get me wrong, but the black players and the managers are a major issue. But it don't just go as far as that. It's a lot bigger.
Can I just cut? Sorry, Ellis.
Come on, mate.
Just want to finish off because obviously I don't know what happened. I got cut off, whatever, for some reason. But going on. I only heard a last bit of Hakan's chat on this. But yeah, that's what we are. That's our nickname. We're Yids. You know what I mean? We say, if people want to call us Yids, I think that should be fine if we're going to use that word, right? But like you said, going back to the Chelsea fans doing gas chamber noise with that, I think that's not acceptable. Do you know what I mean? But I think that part is a little bit of a catch-22. But I'm just thinking generally in life, like sometimes we are like a bit. I'm not trying to go off the subject here, right?
No.
But I don't understand. I mean, I would never ever use the N-word, right? I think that's bang wrong, bang out of order, bang thingy. But I don't understand, and I know if Grim was listening to me at the moment, anyone else listening to me, they would have a different thought on it. I'd like to hear this thought on it. Obviously,
I hate it, mate.
I've got a lot, but no. But I don't understand why other black people speak to other black people and use that word.
Oh, mate, trust me, it winds me up, mate. Do you know what it is, Bob? It's uneducated. I put it down to ignorance and just not even uneducation, just ignorance and no respect for your elders. Should I just say that?
One another, yeah. I don't get it. It's just a word that you never use.
It's such a horrible word, like, isn't it? Like,
well, this is the thing. I mean, can
I ask you a question, G? Whilst we're talking about this word, do you think like when other black people use the N-word, like, I think you touched on it then, that do you think they've been disrespectful to your ancestors that have gone through the struggles and everything like that to get to where we are now, and for them to use it, it's kind of like,
trust me, like 100%, bruv. The meaning that comes with the word and what the word was used for, and the things that have happened with that word. And then you find that like black people today, like they say, "Oh, we're taking back the word. We're taking back the word." You can't take back a word that somebody's put on you like as like worse than dog shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't gloss it up and polish it up and make it all nice and rosy as much as you want. It ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, and I just think, oh mate, to be honest, without going into too much of a big one, because this sort of thing really gets me. Like, I'll go into a 15-minute rant about it. But yeah, I just think no matter how you look at it, there's no gloss to it, and I think like especially like the younger black kids and teenagers and that use it today and that. I think they just need a bit more education, because for me, when they're using it, all they're doing really is just saying, "I am what you say I am." You know what I mean?
Yeah, playing up.
I think young kids at this day and age don't understand the meaning of it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about education wise. It's education, and to be fair, it's half to do with the kids, it's half to do with the parents or the family, it's half to do with the schools, and you know what I mean. It's a bit of everything, but But I think, but I mean, it all starts. I mean, you could teach your kids this, that, and the other, but when they go out with their friends, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. You know what I mean? But if they've got that seed planted in their hair of the history and where it's come from and what, you know what I mean, what you're saying. I mean, put it like this: my mum's grandma, my great grandmom, died like 2 weeks ago. Right? She was 100 years old. Yeah, and she remembers her grandma telling her about slavery. Her grandma was in slavery, in
Jesus.
deep in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she remembers as a kid her grandma telling her about it, and she told me. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's not that long ago. You know, so I think that I just think it's just down to education and just having a bit more self-respect for yourself,
Yeah.
a bit more self-love.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it comes, especially like coming from a white guy's perspective. If I ever use those sorts of words like around my parents growing up, they would have knocked 7 shades of shit out of me, if I'm being honest. Like, you know, like it was never a case of they condoned it or anything like that. Like, it was just one of them things that it was just
it's crazy.
never deemed acceptable. Like,
Yeah,
I'd hate, it was just never ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hard because I think you can't just pin it on one thing. I think there's so many different factions of society and life that goes into it, but ultimately, you know what I mean. It's something that's been used in history to basically to take away your pride. I mean, your name, your language, your family ties, your land ties. You know what I mean. Like,
Your identity in itself.
yeah, your whole identity. I mean, like for someone like me, that's Afro-Caribbean. You know, I will never know my true land that I came from. I will never know my surname. I will never know my family lineage up to a certain point. You know what I mean? And it just it's just another faction that's still played out institutionally today in society. But let's try and swing it back onto football because we've gone way. But
I said it was going to be a deep one tonight.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, look, if we've got nothing else to add on the matter, I'd say that we've made inroads in promoting diversity within the game, but I think there's still definitely. I think we all agree that there's definitely still work to be done.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on then. Glenroy, it's over to you. Rant of the week. I'm sure you've got a few things that you want to get off your chest.
I think the whole show's been a bloody rant for me this week, isn't it? Bloody hell. So today's rant of the week, I'm going to have a little, not too big of a rant, to be honest, because I've had enough talking today. But I'm going to talk about the PFA and obviously Gordon Taylor, what's been going on there over the past couple of weeks. Obviously, I presume everyone's heard about the investigation. Ben Perkis looking for a review into the PFA the PFA Association to see how it's run, basically, where the money gets spent, what's been done to help players, former players that are in the game now. Just a general shake-up from top to bottom. Quick little thing. Basically, like Gordon Taylor's obviously the head of the PFA. He's been head now for 37 years. You have to remember that the PFA is actually a charity, and he is the president of the PFA. But in this 37 years, there should have been elections for other people to try and take on the role as head. But there's never ever been elections.
Yeah,
Don't you? He must have learned from UEFA. And I mean, this guy is on £2.2 million a year to help former players and players that's still in the game. And there's been 300 former players sign a petition for him to resign, I think, if I'm correct in saying, but at least for a review, but for him to even step down, because I think there's a big consensus within football that he isn't doing the job that the PFA was built for. You've obviously had the the cases of former players getting dementia, and it's reportedly it's due to heading of the football. There was, I can't remember his name. I'm not going to say it because I can't remember it, and if I say it and I get it wrong, then I don't want to get sued. But there was a former player this week. It's well documented. It's been in the news quite a lot, and his daughter as well. That has been that's been rallying up to Gordon Taylor and the PFA because her dad obviously suffers dementia now. Obviously, the doctor's reports have said it's obviously been through consistent banging off the head, which obviously would have been the heading of the football. The family have tried to be in contact with Gordon Taylor, who's offered no sympathy, no real help, no, just nothing really. Kind of just shrugged their shoulders, of sort of turned their back and not really given anything. There's been other cases where former players have had to have scans, I always get this word matched up. Is it MRI scan?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, MRI scan, CAT scans and stuff, and they're having to fund this out of their own pocket. I heard one former player the other day saying that he's had to spend over $2,500 just on scans, just to see what's up with him, you know. And this is all the sort of stuff that the PFA should be helping with. Not necessarily just through funding, but you know, support,
yeah,
support groups, yeah, you know, family support, you know, and obviously a lot of these things are being missed and not being looked at. There's reportedly over £50 million sitting in the PFA account, which is a bit weird because why is there all that money sitting in there? It's a charity, just not really meant to have that amount of money sitting in there. That sort of money is meant to be the money that's meant to be helping these players and former players, you know. And and there just seems to be a lack of interest and a lack of what's the word? A lack of interest and a lack of
commitment.
Commitment, you know, to serving former players and players today. And like I said, it is a union, it is a charity. And for somebody to be on £2.2 million a year for 30, and you know, he's been in charge for 37 years, never had a review. And in fact, Ben Purkis, who's actually taken up the role of looking for the review, he's tried to say that he can't be on the. Gordon Taylor tried to ban him from being on the PFA himself. Like,
he's almost done the moral thing and been like, I'm not getting involved with this. You can keep it.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an absolute joke. And only this week, he's actually said that, you know, he welcomes now a review to be introduced into the dealings of the PFA. But I mean, it's only come after 2 weeks of intense pressure from everybody. So Gordon Taylor is my rant of the week. I think he needs to step down, get out, son, and pee off with all your millions, mate. Because to be honest, you ain't doing a good job. You ain't helping nobody but yourselves. And to me, you're a thief and bastard, mate.
So definitely.
That's my rant.
You know what? Just to add on that, Jigger, just to follow up. You know, you said there was a few people who said he's got to go, a few ex-players. What ex-player or any ex-player have you heard him come out and said, Gordon Taylor's done well for me?
Mate, do you know what? There's one, yeah, and I only heard this one the other day on the radio. And do you know what? It wasn't even a proper famous player because I can't even remember his name, but it was somebody like, oh mate, it was somebody probably played for somebody like Sunderland, like back in 1989 or something. You know what I mean? It's just a player that's not really well known, and he was the only player that, and all he said wasn't even nothing too great, mate. To be honest, when he retired from football, he got a bit of depression. Obviously, he was gambling a lot. And he was going to lose his house, I think. And he ended up. I think his house was like 60 or 70 grand or something at the time. And and they helped. They didn't pay for the house, but they helped him stop gambling, and got some financial advisors. Basically, no money came out of their account, but they got the people in place to help him basically not lose his house. You know what I mean? But that's just the one person I've heard out of 300 and odd.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. There's no one coming out really in support of Gordon Taylor. And obviously, Joe, he seems like a bit of a dictatorship. 37 years, man. He's got to go.
And again, boys, and again, if you look at it, again, it's the old guy at the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the old guy at the top, the old generation. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
No, definitely. I mean, I heard Danny Murphy this week talking on, I think it might have been TalkSport, talking about how he knows of players that he's played with.
Yeah, I heard that.
And think how long, like, wasn't it many years ago that Danny Murphy was involved?
Yeah, he's quite passionate about it, weren't he?
Yeah, he was. He was really passionate how he knows of ex-players that have fallen on financial hard times, dealing with issues like addiction, financial issues, mental health issues, and things like that, and they've just done nothing for them.
Yeah,
and you got to think about it. If how does that feel? Where we all go on about how football, especially in the later stages of the Premier League, have been earning huge amounts of money. You're paying into an institution, and then for one way or another, you need an element of support back off them, and you're not getting it.
But did the players actually pay into the institution?
Yeah, they pay. I think they pay a contribution.
Or yeah, I know they get a certain amount of revenue from the Premier League.
Yeah, I think they it comes out of their tax that they pay. That some of it gets divided into the PFA.
But okay, because I mean, I don't quote me on this, but I'm not sure. I don't think they paid obviously directly.
No,
to the PFA.
It's divided up. Like, how we all pay national insurance and tax.
Well, yeah.
Apart from Hassan pay tax, the little tax dodger. But no. In all seriousness, it gets. I think some of the tax that the footballers pay gets divided up and goes back to the PFA. But
I mean, just to look at this on the other hand, and say, as you say that, yeah. If you like, say, if you represented, like, if you joined the union, yeah, right, that's going to protect your workers' rights, you know what I mean, and whatnot, your health and safety, whatnot. Now, if you join a union, you're expected to pay into that union, directly into that union. It's not going to come out of your tax contribution, you know what I mean, that you give to HMRC. So in that sense, yeah, I can not understand, but is it then how much right do footballers have? Even though I know that it's set up for footballers, so I'm not trying to take anything away from that. But I'm saying, like, don't you think it's a bit of a not fast, but it's a bit of a cheeky one that it's probably the only institution where the members don't have to actually pay into it, but can get a hell of a lot out of it. And considering that footballers these days, what they, what, like, the wages that they get and whatnot,
No, definitely. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen that leaked Sergio Aguero wage slip that had been leaked online.
Yeah,
recently.
I think Tevez one as well.
Yeah. So you can see the contributions that they make and stuff like that. Things that stand out to me that never really sat right with me is when Gaza was going through those really hard times and all the clubs were rallying around, paying for his treatment and stuff like that. Why aren't institutions like the PFA paying for that?
Exactly.
I know Arsenal were made a contribution of 50 grand towards his treatment for him. And,
I mean, when you look through it, I mean, Tony Adams with his alcohol, Paul Merson. I mean, there's been loads of players that have been have had
Michael Chopra with his gambling,
you know what I mean. Robbie Fowler, you know what I mean. Like, there's been so many players over the years, and you never see that. You never see or hear the PFA doing anything to help them. It's always the club themselves, you know what I mean, and their teammates or their family. So he's well, hang on a minute, mate. You're getting paid flipping $2.5 million a year for doing fuck all.
Fuck all. Just take the money and sunning himself up in the south of Spain or something like that. Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? You're doing better than Hassan.
Well, listen to you, look, keep throwing me in there. Don't pay my tax. Fucking, I'm a hard-working taxpayer, motherfuckers.
Yeah, right, boy. Leaving, you've got your leavers books.
No, I wish. If I was, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
That's true.
Yeah, you forget your mate straight away, wouldn't you? Yeah, know what you're like.
I'll be victim of the elite.
Right. Anyone got anything else to add on the PFA? That was a good subject, I thought there, G. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, so it's back over to you then for the last topic of the week, for your question of last week.
Bloody hell, it's coming like the Jigger show, innit? Oh my
exactly.
Right, so question of the week this week. Basically, if we can all name three players, if we can think of three players each that, was then meant to be the next best thing. You know what I mean? Meant to be the next wonder kid, was meant to be the next greatest star, was meant to be the next Pele or the next Beckenbauer or the next Cruyff, and they flopped. You know what I mean? They went off the radar. Their head got bigger than their boots before they even stepped on the pitch. Like, who are these players? And well, not even where are they now? Because we just know that they're gone. You know what I mean? But yeah, just three
Some
players
players then.
from everybody that flopped. Could have been, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, cool. Who do you want to go? Should we do one each first?
Yeah, we'll go one each first.
Yeah. All right. I'll kick it off, and this might be a bit of a weird one, considering the amount of clubs and Premier League appearances. Who's rattling around?
Who's munching?
My
Hassan.
one.
It's Hassan.
Your mic has.
With his mouth full.
Yeah.
Sounding like Babe and that off the
Right, this is a bit of a weird one considering the amount of clubs he has paid for. But being an Arsenal fan, one of the most exciting youngsters that we ever had coming to the club rather than coming through the ranks, because he came from Notts County. For me, was Jermaine Pennant. Like the fact that we paid £2.5 million.
That was a lot of money at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, for a 15-year-old, whether the deal was above board or not. We paid £2.5 million for a 15-year-old from Notts County, and in theory, he only ever scored 3 goals for Arsenal, and that was a hat trick on his debut. They're the only goals he ever scored.
No way.
Yeah, and there's on other podcasts, there's like ex Arsenal players talk. Like I listened to a thing called the Magic Sponge, and they had Graham Stack, the old Arsenal goalkeeper, and he would say like Pennant would walk in late with to team meetings, and at Arsenal you have to take your shoes off and wear flip flops around the training ground. It's all to do with like zen and respecting the environment and stuff like that. He would rock into meetings late with his trainers on, eating McDonald's breakfast and stuff like that as a kid. And there's talk about when he made his debut, he'd been out until like 6 a.m, steaming the night before, pissed out of his brains, and he got a call like last minute saying, so and so's got injured, we're sending a car to pick you up now. And when we signed him, he was like, fucking hell, we've got the next big thing here, like. And so to me, my first name down would definitely be Pennant.
Cool, good choice.
I'll go second if you want, guys.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm gonna start off with a Spurs player, to be fair, similar to what you've done with Ellis. But for me, when we signed him, I was really excited, especially from a club where he come from. And mine was Giovanni Dos Santos.
Oh, yeah, what a shout.
We bought him from Barcelona, and you could see he had these little. He could just drop a shoulder and that, and he had this little bit of swagger about him.
You don't thought he was an extra Ronaldinho, didn't you?
I mean, mate, he was sick. To be honest, he did do certain things throughout the game. He was come to us such a young age, and he done certain things throughout the game that you think, he could do, but he's just. I think the Premier League was too much for him, and yeah, it is my one, to be honest.
Good shot. Hassan?
Oh, so I'm going to start with, actually, to be fair, it's quite a recent one, quite a well-known one, really. I mean, we took a lot of shit for it. Roberto Soldado, mate. Never met a player brilliant in the Spanish league, come over here. Couldn't do nothing for us. Absolutely nada. And to be fair, since he left us, he ain't done nothing ever since then. That poor old boy. I don't know if we ruined him or what. But yeah, Soldado. A lot of expectations from him. Was hoping he would be the new big thing, and he wasn't.
Cool. For me, I'll say first one. I'll go away from home, and I'll say Ravel Morrison. He
You
was
beat me
like,
to that one.
yeah, he was like meant to be the. I mean, everywhere I heard, he was going to be the next big thing. You see him with the Man United Youth Cup trophies and with Pogba and Lingard and you know what I mean. And even all them players there were saying that he was the top of the
He
crop.
was the man, weren't
He was the man, yeah. You know,
he? Yeah,
Ferguson said it.
Rio said
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, all the legends have said it. He was the man, and when you sort of think like the career that he's had since then is just, but his attitude just wasn't there. You know, what I mean, you've also heard that a lot as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'll go with Ravel Morrison, my first choice.
Okay. My next one, bit of a, as you're a football manager player, Glenroy, you've probably heard of this one as the next wonder kid over the years. Freddie Adu.
Oh, I do. I go do.
This kid, when he was 16, was the highest paid player in MLS at the time. He was the only high school, I'll say soccer because we're talking about an American kid here, ever to have a Nike deal signed to him. And this guy was literally tipped to be the next big. I think he was even like United States captain at the time as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he was tipped to be the next big thing. He was touted around to all the clubs, going on trial at Man U, going on trial at Real Madrid, going on trial at Benfica, going to Monaco, and now he is a promoter for a nightclub, promotes nightclubs in America.
No way.
Yeah, evenings with Freddie Adu, like hip hop and R&B events and stuff like that, like hosted by Freddie Adu and stuff like that. So,
oh my days.
Yeah, so that would be my next one to put their career down the toilet.
Cool. Hakan?
This one here, he's not so much of a youngster, but in all in all, he does still play now in the Premier League, to be fair. But for the price tag at the time and the move itself was just a complete flop. And it's Andy Carroll to Liverpool.
That was a big price tag, wasn't it?
From Newcastle, from what he was doing at Newcastle, when they sold Torres and they was desperate and they bought Andy Carroll for how much was it? 35 million.
35 million. Yeah, that was the same night. Well, that was the same window, like 10 minutes to go, weren't it?
Yeah, and Spurs are in for Andy Carroll at the same time. I think Spurs bid up to £30 million for him.
You dodged the bullet there, mate.
Big time. Big time. Because he scored hardly peanuts for them, mate. He scored, I think he scored like 4 goals in like 40 odd appearances or something like that, or 6 goals. It was pants and all that. Yeah, that was a big flop. That was a big flop.
Cool. Andy Carroll. Hassan?
Mine. No, dickhead. I'll tell you another one. Actually going to Man United on this one. Jemba. Everyone remember Jemba?
Oh, yeah. Mate,
there's a lot of noise about him, and then
so shit they made him twice.
Yeah, that was their thing. Yeah, I mean, what a player he was, mate. I never met someone like him. Never heard of him until Alex Ferguson wanted to buy him, and then he bought him. I don't think did he play 1 or 2 games for him?
Oh, mate.
And then played a few games, but yeah, he was shocking.
He was
absolutely dog shit. Another one, waste of money.
Cool.
I mean, I've got a better one if no one else suggests it next time round.
Okay.
All right. My second one will have to be. Oh God, I've got 2. I'll go home this one as I haven't been home yet, and I'll say Jose Antonio Reyes. Man.
Yeah.
Bruv, like we broke transfer records for this dude and that, bruv. Like 19.5 million, and for us that was like a big thing because obviously we weren't spending them times there. And this guy was meant to be the next. Who was he compared to? He was going to be the next Van Persie or something like that, wasn't he? And he was just an absolute dog. He came to the Premier League. He got bullied. I think he played 1 good game or 2 good games. He scored in fact, I think on his debut.
He scored on his debut.
Chelsea.
Yeah, against Chelsea in the FA Cup.
Yeah, the absolute scorcher. And then I think he must have played at Stoke or one of these teams.
Yeah.
Got a real taste of English football and just went into his shell. And ended up shipping him back off to Spain.
Yeah. it was a bit of a funny one, Reyes. Like, and apparently he like lived on a farm with his like 30 members, 30 members of his family. Like, never really integrated in the squad because he comes from Romany Gypsy descent.
Yeah.
They're obviously very territorial and stuff like that, and he never really mixed with outside of the squad. There's the well-publicised comments the Spanish manager made to him about Henry at the time as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those two never really saw eye to eye after that. But yeah, I agree with you. It was definitely not a potential that was fulfilled, certainly. Right, my next one. If we're talking about transfer flops, probably the biggest flop for me, as I can remember.
Don't say Gervinho.
No. Anyone with that forehead can't flop anyway. I'm gonna say Varane to Man United.
Oh, mate,
Big flop.
It's and I love Varane when he signed. At the time before he signed for Man United, I'd go as far as to say he's probably one of the best midfielders in the world when he was. It was either came from Parma or
Parma, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Parma? Yeah.
Yeah. And when they signed him, I was like, oh, fucking hell, this guy is the business.
The passing range, man.
Yeah. And but don't get me wrong, like I was at uni at the time and I lived for the Man United fan, and we would always talk about Varane and stuff like that. And in the Premier League, he wouldn't be great, but then in the Champions League, he'd play really well. Like, he'd do like volley passes for like 45 yards, and you'd just be thinking, why doesn't he do this? My only really memory of him for Man U in the Premier League is scoring it that game at the Lane where Spurs went 3-0 up and lost 5-3. I think he scored the third or something like that. But apart from that, I can't really remember too much of what he did for.
Sorry, mate, just cut off.
No, he never came.
I'm waiting back. You ain't going to get me to fall for them tricks. But yeah, to me, he is a major flop.
Cool. Moving on. To be honest, I had 4 written down. I'm going to have to quickly read off these quick 2, man. Sorry, guys. First off will be David Bentley. At the time, we paid a massive price from him.
He was a hit for you, man. What are you chatting about?
To be honest, no, he wasn't a hit for us. He just scored that banger against you guys.
Hang on a minute. Didn't he get England call-up while he was playing for you?
I don't think he did, to be honest. If anything, he flopped. I'm
pretty sure he's only England call-up.
No, I think he got it at Blackburn.
Okay. I'll let you off.
Besides the point, it was a flop for us. We paid £15 million at the time, with big money for us. And he was a massive flop. And you could, to be honest, as I'm speaking at the time, you could even chuck Darren Benton in for us. But at the end of the day, he scored a lot. He did score a lot of goals for us, so I wouldn't put him in that category. But I'm going to go for my last third one's going to be
Sergei Rebrov.
No, Alberto Aquilini.
Yeah.
17 million pounds.
From Roma.
From Roma to replace Alonso, and to the point that I think he was gone 6 months later on loan.
That's another time.
I went to Liverpool in
Benitez
for him
was
as well.
Benitez were making some weird fucking decisions around about the time. Like, that's when he nearly sold Alonso to us to buy Gareth Barry, weren't it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's a good shout, Hack. I forgot about him. That's how good he was.
Hassan?
All right, my last one. He was brought in. It was really weird, actually, because he was a really, really good player. Won quite a lot as well. And then, since he's come to the Premier League, he's been a massive flop. Some people might agree with me, some people won't, but that's just my views. Yeah, how do you know I can't? It's Ozil. What a waste, man! I'll tell you what, right? He's actually buying a. Honestly, he is buying.
How can we meet this idiot?
He's buying a living over it.
Hey, Ellis.
Most assists in Europe since he joined the Premier League.
I think it's time to give him some stats, don't you?
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Hey, should I put my rod away now?
Flop.
My rod.
I don't know. Can you reach it with all them crisp packets on you?
My fishing rod. Come on, man. Guy's been a wanker, mate. That's why he didn't
Look at
play
the guy's been a
today.
wanker.
Wanker, what's
Yeah, it's been a
absolute
flop, guys.
wanker?
Come on.
This is going to be one of those things that we never agree on.
He didn't know Bamiyang.
Fastest assets, mate. What is it? 50 assets? Assists?
Assets.
Assists?
Yeah, actually made 50 assets.
He's like, you reached you guys out there for a centre.
All right, we're 300 bags a week.
Hey, it's all
Go on,
right.
them.
Right.
All right, so there's my last one. Look at these that are all trying to get on the old. You love it. All right, fuck it. I'll go John Bostock then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're meant to be the next big thing.
Do they not even know who he is?
I don't know. See, the thing is, yeah, he was looking all right when he was at Palace.
Yeah.
And then he went there and he just went screw with.
Some goodie.
Yeah.
Couldn't handle the big
Couldn't
time.
handle it.
You know what I mean? Bit like Aaron Lennon.
What about Aaron Lennon's alright, mate?
Aaron Lennon, nice service, mate.
Yeah.
Oi,
Twisted you man's up a few times.
Christian Ziegler.
What about Lord Bentner?
Yeah,
What, he's doing bird at the moment, isn't he? He's 50 days in prison.
My last one in the Premier League would have to be Christian Gross. Fucking legend.
What, manager?
Yeah, boy.
Is that the one that turned up with his tube tickets? Man, I know I'm not going to be here for, so.
Yeah.
That's quality.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Sorry,
old days.
spoke up again, mate.
Oh dear, mate.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Right. So we've done full circle on the questions now. So it's come back round to me. So, and this is why I asked for your date of birth earlier, Hakan. I want a hero from the decades that you've been alive for next week. So we've all been alive since so we were doing 80s, 90s, 2000, and modern day. So that's 4 each.
I was born in the 90s, though.
No, you weren't born in the 90s.
All right, mate. Yeah,
all right.
All right, sweet.
All right. So let's draw this to a close. Obviously, I think next week's could be quite interesting because we got the derby just a few hours before we come on. So predictions, boys. Spurs. Off you go first. What do you reckon then? You're gonna turn up?
Is it legal? Is it legal cup?
League.
What kind of fan are you? You don't even know what games are playing. Fucking hell, boy.
Oh, well, if it's a league, different story, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to go something like a 2-1 win, Spurs. Yeah.
You writing this down, yeah?
Yeah, I got it. Hack.
I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs.
Yeah?
Is that the Emirates?
Jeez.
Yeah, it's at the Emirates.
Yeah, definitely 1, I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, we've got the best away record this year so far.
You've played away for the past 3 seasons, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, mate.
Remember
Tramps.
We're used to being on the road.
You lot are homeless.
Still bunning up, man.
Hey, in fact, playing at your shite place.
I'll tell you what we'll do.
Be the closest we've been to our stadium to be for a long time.
Yeah.
What's that again in English, mate?
I said playing at your shite place next
Yeah.
week will be the closest we've been to White Hart Lane for God knows how long.
Yeah.
Good one.
Someone turn that microwave on, will ya?
Oh, sorry. That's the missus.
Yeah. I reckon a draw, to be honest. I'm not going to be... Yeah, I think a draw.
Oh, fun them, man. I'm saying 3-1 Gooners. You get me?
Yeah. No, I reckon we've got a score draw.
Lacazette's going to score and Ozil's going to make an assist. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think you'll score. No, do you reckon Ozil will play next week? It's a big game.
Hey, it's not. It's against you, boys.
Oh, yeah, big game today against Bournemouth.
Hey,
that's
why he saved himself, son.
Did you watch the game, mate? Did you watch the game, Glenroy?
Yeah, I did, mate, yeah.
Did you see their first goal that they was rolled offside when he weren't even offside?
No, I didn't see that one, no.
Anyway, we'll do that one for another time.
Yeah.
Well, like Hazard should have got a penalty as well, but we'll leave that.
Do you know what? Ellis? All just aside, that was a penalty.
Yeah.
Blatant penalty. I have to
Second
say.
one, won't.
Second one.
No, listen to him. Don't talk to him. Like the Mitchell brothers here.
Oh, good.
All right, boys.
Don't forget to hit us up hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button to get all the notifications.
Follow us on Twitter, In The Box Pods. Facebook, In The Box Pods.
I thought Twitter was at S&B Hangouts.
Nah, it's In The Box Pods, yeah.
Changed.
Change that thing up, mate.
Cool, no.
What are you going to eat then? With some fufu?
Nah, that's not me, mate. It heat up the old kids' milk and that, you know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah. Right, lads, don't forget, you join us in about 10 minutes' time and we'll be coming back with the old boxing pod. Talking about Wilder Fury, obviously 7 days to go until the big one. WBC Heavyweight Championship on the line. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. With that, all the weekend's action from the boxing and much more.
Yeah, Glenn was just got to drink his bottle of milk.
Hey, man, not drink them thing there. Strictly. I leave all that pussy milk to you guys.
Yeah. Right. In a bit. See you later.
See you later.
Peace out.
See